Hey guys, in this lesson we're going to talk about scale factors and dilations. So what better way to start with scale factors than an actual problem? So in this problem, Harold and his friends went to a wizard camp where they took a class on spells and potions. The group tried several potions that would either cause you to grow or shrink based on the scale factor. So when we're talking about this scale factor, if you can remember from a while ago, scale factor is basically making something bigger or smaller depending what you're multiplying by. So as you can see, if I start at 60 inches tall and I'm taking half of it, then that means I'm multiplying by half, and that would give me 30 inches. Well, 30 is smaller than 60, so I shrunk. So what if I am scale factor of 3? I know 64 times 3 is 192 inches, and that is obviously way bigger than what I started, so that means I'm growing. If I'm taking an eighth, I am multiplying 56 by 1/8, in simplest form would be like dividing by 8, and that would be 7 inches. I really shrunk then. So if you notice, if you are multiplying by a number less than 1, you are shrinking. If you are multiplying by a number greater than 1, you are growing. Why don't you try the next 3 and see if that pattern continues. So as we notice, if the scale factor is greater than 1, it will enlarge, which means it grows. If it is less than 1, it will reduce. It will get smaller. And you can find the scale factor by dividing the new number by the original, or the image by the pre-image. And that brings us to dilations. A dilation is a transformation that either enlarges or reduces the size of an original figure. And to dilate that figure, we just multiply by the scale factor. Let's try some examples. So here's a rectangle, and it's 35 inches by 15. And what it says is it's going to have a scale factor of 2/5. So to find our new rectangle, we just multiply. So 35 times 2/5. I need to make it over 1. And I know that 35 times 2 is 70. 1 times 5 is 5. And 70 divided by 5 is equal to 14. So that means my new rectangle is going to have a length of 14. For the width, I'm going to do the same thing. 15 over 1 times 2/5. 15 times 2 is 30. 1 times 5 is 5. And 30 divided by 5 is 6. So my width is 6. And so I know my dimensions are 14 by 6 inches. And if I look at to see if I'm right, to check my work, I know the scale factor is less than 1. So that tells me my answer should be smaller than what I started with. And if I notice, my answers were definitely, my dimensions were definitely smaller than what I started with. So I had a reduction. Let's do one more problem. This time, I'm asked to find the scale factor. But the first thing I need to figure out is what is my image and what is my pre-image. So what I start with, my pre-image, is the one without the apostrophe. And I'll always shade it just so I can keep track of it. And I notice I'm going from 8 to 10 and 12 to 15. So I know I'm going to have an enlargement. So my scale factor, enlargement, should be greater than 1. So to find the scale factor, we always take our new, or in this case our image, and we divide it by our old, or in this case pre-image, because we want to work our way backwards. If we multiply to get the new image, then we got to divide to get the original. So let's try that. Our new is 10, and our old is 8. So I can divide it. 8 goes into 10 one time. That gives me 8. I get 2 left over. Bring my decimal up, and my 0. 8 goes into 20 2 times. 16. 4. Bring down another 0, and it goes in 5 times. So I know my scale factor is 1.25. If I wanted it as a fraction, I just simplify it. 10 and 8, if I divide by 2, I get 5 and over 4. So my scale factor is 5/4, which is equal to 1 and 25/100. Oh, and it's greater than 1, so I know I'm correct. In summary, scale factors is a way to enlarge or reduce a shape or a given number. If it's greater than 1, then it is bigger or enlargement. If it is less than 1, then it is smaller. And lastly, dilations uses the scale factor to make a shape get bigger or smaller. But you tell me, what are scale factors? And what are dilations? You tell me. Have a great day, guys.